So many early civilizations tied the new year to springtime, and we can see this through ancient calendars, such as the Babylonian calendar, the ancient Persian calendar. A lot of people still practice this around Iran and other parts of Asia. The ancient Egyptian calendar, Roman calendar, the Hebrew calendar, the Celtic calendar, and so on and so on. Almost every ancient system follows this logic. And the reason I call this logic is because this is springtime. This is the time of year where things get lighter, things start growing, flowers start blooming. And if you clock it, if you haven't already, please do try and clock it this year because you will have this surge of life, this surge of energy, and you'll just feel brand new and really good. And this is my favorite time of the year, mainly just for that energy, for that feeling. And this is Aries season. Aries being the beginning of the chart, connected to the first house, connected to Mars, surge of energy, impulsive, very youthful. So this is a really great time for new beginnings, fresh energy. Makes sense to start the year then, right? And since all these ancient calendars do, then why don't we? Because this is Capricorn season. This is in the thick of Capricorn season. Now, Capricorn associated with Saturn, associated with the 10th house. Now, this isn't the best time to start anything new. This is a heavy time, a very heavy time. I'd say the heaviest times of the whole year are Scorpio season and Capricorn season. It's a time to get on job. It's a time to, or not even necessarily, it's just like, it's not the most uplifting time. We've come from Sag season. Okay, there's a lot of festivities around this time. Obviously, I understand Christmas and New Year are in cap season, but have you noticed a lot of people don't really have a great new year? And why is that? Maybe because it's not really the energy for that. I do wonder, like, do you guys tend to have a good new year? Most people I know don't. I never really have had a great new year. Capricorn and 10th house, they're associated with hard work, getting things done, but it's a very heavy energy, can be quite depressive. You can get all your ducks in a row, you can cross your T's, dot your I's, do what you need to do, but there's not a lot of momentum. It's very heavy. And so starting the new year kind of feels a bit depressing and kind of feels like you're being pulled back, or there's just not a lot of energy. There's not a lot of energy going on here. So I don't know why they decided to start the year at that time, if there's an actual logical reason. If you guys know, let me know. But for me, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do jump to, is this just kind of confusing us? Why would we start at that point? And then you try and create these New Year's resolutions, and it's all good and well until we're hitting Aquarius season and then Pisces season, which are really, really not great energies to carry on our resolutions. Now, some people do and they push through, but I do wonder how many years has it taken them to get to this point? And also, we're still fighting against the grain here. We're still going against the current. What if we all created New Year's resolutions at springtime, at the energetic New Year? Would this not make sense? And wouldn't our New Year's resolutions actually blossom much easier because we're working with the energy, we're flowing rather than going against things? Are things supposed to be really that difficult? So you may ask, does this even matter? And I'm not saying, don't celebrate New Year on January the 1st, because I do believe that the numerological New Year starts on January the 1st. I feel that, and I think it's quite obvious. But I do think it's interesting because I believe that we have collectively manifested this numerological New Year because obviously this is based off of numbers. And so it actually is on point. And when you look at every month, you're going through a different number. They're massively on point. If you don't know this, you want to get to know this. And I recommend looking on Felicia Bender. You type that into Google and you can learn so much about numerology on there. Her site is so good and she gives monthly forecasts every month and they are so on point. And so the fact that these are so on point, it makes me think, because we're obviously not in the year 2026, the world hasn't existed for 2026 years, right? We all know that. So why does this make sense? Now, I think we must have energetically all manifested to believe that we are in the year 2026. So it applies to us. So I believe this new year, in terms of numerology, is a new year. But in terms of astrology, in terms of actual energy, I say actual energy, like numerology isn't actual energy, but I mean, in terms of the seasons, in what's going on around us, I would believe the new year starts in spring, right? And I would say the spring equinox, Aries season. And so I'm just trying to ungaslight you as to why maybe your New Year's resolutions don't work, or why you may be feeling kind of heavy around this Capricorn season, because it's Capricorn season. We all feel heavy around this time. Now, I would love to know about the Southern Hemisphere. I would love to know, people in Australia, how are you feeling in Capricorn season? Because that's your summertime. So is it too hot? Is it still that kind of heavy, laggy energy? I don't know. Not to say Capricorn's laggy, but it can get to that. Like, we're just so done. And then we come into Aquarius season, which is scrappy. It doesn't give you a lot of streamlined, focused momentum like Aries does. And then Pisces, I mean, if you haven't cracked by that point, and I don't blame you. I really don't blame you. I don't think we need to be so hard on ourselves that, oh, we never stick to these New Year's resolutions, or why am I not doing X, Y, and Z? And it's like, well, probably because we're not in tune with the energy, right? So the reason why this matters is maybe you can start to consciously work with that energy and start your new year in Aries season, because this makes sense, right? And watch how things flow. Watch how, when you start something new, when you're sowing seeds, when you've got this new lease of life, it's all just timing things very well. Now, in terms of why our civilization seemed to start on January the 1st. There's a lot of questions, not quite sure why, but I think we can all agree that our civilization is very heavy left brain, hence the patriarchy, which also isn't helpful for men either, by the way. So we're all kind of struggling. There isn't a lot of balance. Everything's about this box that we live in, this 9 to 5, this Monday to Friday, not really flowing with the energy that we're in, or how we're feeling, or even seasons of the year. Um, and I say this civilization, I'm talking about the Western society, Western modern society. And yeah, I think we can all agree it doesn't really work for us too well. Maybe it works for some, but I really don't feel like it actually fully does emotionally. And so this calendar is probably created in that way, with that kind of thinking, very heavy left brain. I think we really abandon the right brain in our Western society when it's equally as important. It always seems like the right brain, the creative, is just a little fancy add-on. It's a little accessory. Oh, she likes drawing, just a little add-on. And then another student loves maths, and that's a lot more important. That's very, that will get you places. And it's like, newsflash, maths isn't more important than drawing. How crazy is that, right? It's actually equally as important. But that would be why I would imagine why we don't really follow the seasons how we should. And if you do follow the seasons, life flows better. And I think you'll be happier, to be honest. You'll get more done, and you'll be more in sync. And my advice is always to go and flow with this energy rather than resist and go against it. But let me know what you think. I would be intrigued to know. It's an interesting conversation. And that's my 2 cents. And thank you for listening. I'll see you soon.